Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Thanks for Asking. My name is Mark Lefebvre, and I'm delighted to be here this afternoon. This week's topic, we're going to talk about change. And there's a saying in the recovery community that that nothing changes if nothing changes. And as trite as that might sound, it's actually very true, because if we're the same person that we were, let's say 5 years ago, then over the last 5 years, we really haven't grown. At least that's been my personal experience. So we're going to talk about change this afternoon. And when we talk about change, what is it actually precisely that we're talking about? We could be talking about changing our rituals. We could be talking about changing our friends, our so-called friends, our belief system. That was really important for me, and I'll get into that a little bit later. We can change our reactions to certain circumstances, and we can change our priorities as we move on in life and as we are involved with different things. More things that used to be important to us aren't necessarily important to us anymore, and that's been true in my case as well. And when I talk about change, I'm talking about inward changing within myself. I'm not talking about changing geographies or, moving to another state or, that type of thing. Because when I travel or when I move to a different area, guess what comes with me? Me. And so, that's not really what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about looking inward, identifying those things that I need to work on and making the changes necessary. So why is change important? Change is important for me because it represents growth. As I mentioned earlier, if I'm the same person I was X number of years earlier in my life, then I haven't really gone through the necessary growth that I think is healthy for me. I also, for me, making changes is setting myself up for success. In other words, if I go to a family outing or if I go to a gathering, a social gathering with friends, um, I need to have an exit strategy. For me, changing my circumstances is, bringing whatever it is that I'm drinking so I don't pick up that sucker's drink. Um, if I'm seeking medical health, I need to be help. I need to be, honest with my caregiver about, my addictions and so forth. So that, again, I set myself up for growth and I set myself up for success. Um, I try to avoid situations that trigger me. My wife Vivian and I, we like to go to concerts, and lately with the laxed um, laws and enforcement of these laws with regards to weed, it's very easy to get caught up in a situation where we go to a show and everybody's blazing and there's a big cloud in the room and all I'm smelling is dope. I got to think about whether or not I want to hang around there, because again, I'm not setting myself up for success if I'm sticking around there and being triggered by those substances. I avoid other risky situations. It's not so much that I can't be around people who are drinking. I can't be around drunk people. And I've been to family situations and parties and so forth where, people kind of get out of control, and, it's not fun to watch. And it just makes me think about how much of an ass I was, when I was active in my drinking and my addiction. And I don't want to be around that person. And I'm sure people didn't want to be around me back in the day. One of the other reasons why I think it's important to change is, for me, I need to learn to like myself again. I had a faulty belief system that I'll talk about in a moment here as well. So what might these changes look like? Changes could be a change in a career, change in a job, changing phone numbers, changing your phone number so that all of the people that had my phone number before, they know how to find me. And if I take a call from somebody who is a dealer, if I take a call from somebody who I used to share with, those types of things, that's not really setting myself up for success. I changed my friends and my social circles. It's interesting, all the people who I thought were friends in the past, they were acquaintances, and they were looking for the same thing I was looking for. Somebody who drank or used like they did, and as a result of that, those aren't really my friends. The people who I consider my friends are the ones who really understand who I am, you know, what I'm going through, what I've gone through, and they're there to support me, or they're like-minded. And I tend to surround myself with people who are either in recovery or very recovery savvy and recovery aware, and they're respectful of the space and the boundaries that I have. Another change might look like making myself known. I've found it difficult throughout my life to shed a light on myself. I don't like to talk about myself in terms of what's going on inside of me. It's something that I tend to protect. But, you know, if there's a resentment going on inside of me, if there's a fear, if there's anger and so forth, if I put a light on it and let people know that this is going on inside of me, it takes away its power. That's some of the things that I found in my life. You know, so having the ability or the willingness to let other people know who I am and what makes me tick and what I'm all about helps me in my recovery. I change the things that I'm committed to. For example, you know, I would not necessarily stay committed to relationships or to situations that remind me of what it was like when I was using. You know, and I keep my commitments that are healthy commitments. You know, the things that I'm really committing myself to these days in recovery, I'm being honest, and especially being honest with myself. Because if I'm not honest with myself, there's no way that I'm going to be honest with others. You know, I used to say, or I tend to say rather, that I would lie when I would benefit from the truth, because it was just my go-to thing. You know, it was a survival mechanism, you know, growing up. I didn't want to get caught and be punished and so forth as a kid. So I learned to compartmentalize things. I learned to tell half truths, or to not tell the whole truth, or to tell, you know, tell white lies, so-called white lies. They're still lies. So if I'm not honest with myself, I'm not going to be able to be honest with others. And if I'm not honest with others, there's not a trust in the relationship, and that trust needs to be mutual. So, you know, my experience has been, you know, making these changes from the very get-go when I got out of rehab and out of treatment 9 years ago. And, you know, I got a new phone. I got a new phone number. I deleted emails and phone numbers for people who I had no business hanging around with. You know, I changed my belief system. I used to believe that I wasn't worthy of your friendship, or I wasn't worthy of your love, and that I was a terrible person for some of the things that I've done, or that, you know, I was a junkie, and all the stigma and labels that go around, you know, those types of circumstances. So, you know, changing my belief system meant that, you know, I look in the mirror and, you know, I'm just enough. I'm not any more or any less than, you know, the next guy and the next person. And so having respect for myself, liking who I am, having some sort of a moral compass and some sort of, you know, spiritual connection requires me to, you know, have a belief system that supports those outcomes. You know, and I gave up the things that I thought were important. You know, I had that job, I had that career, I traveled, I had a company car at one time. And, you know, those things tended to be elusive. You know, they were material things that really did not help me as an individual. They didn't help me grow. They did not help me be of service to others and a positive influence of others. So, you know, fortunately, Vivian and I, you know, we were in a situation we could financially afford to make those changes, and I'm very grateful for that. You know, we saw the need to begin saving for retirement really, really, really early in my career. And as a result of that, you know, we were able to downsize the house, you know, make a move to Hampton Falls. I know I talked about geographical cures and moving, but we moved to a location that has what I characterize as 5 bars of recovery in this house. It's a beautiful place up on a hill overlooking a pond and a meadow. And, you know, the important things for me to be are to be connected to nature and connected to my concept of, you know, a higher power or spiritual mentor. I set myself up for success by staying true to my rituals. You know, I start every morning or nearly every morning with a meeting. I ask for help to get me through the day, sober, as well as being of service to others and doing the next right thing. And at the end of the day, you know, I say some words and prayers and meditations of gratitude. And, you know, I don't ask for help in the form of outcomes. I ask for help in the form of guidance. And, you know, give me the wisdom and give me the kind of the signal or the nudging, if you will, into making the next right choice and doing the next right thing. I'm also accountable. Another one of the changes I made, I don't deflect blame. I'm accountable for my actions. I surround myself with people who I can be accountable to. So that's a big change in my life. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to do is to surround myself with kind, like-minded people. With what's going on in the world right now, the divisiveness, what I see in terms of hate and bigotry and so forth, I can get really caught up in that. So I try to surround myself, whether it's in work meetings and relationships, Zoom meetings, 12-step meetings, meeting people for coffee, family members. I seek out people who are kind. And as a result of that, I find myself to be just a little bit kind of in terms of how I approach situations. I'm not as quick to anger. I'm not as quick to react. I think before I open my mouth, those types of things. So these are all positive changes that I've made in my life. So with that, this is a difficult thing to do. It's a learning process. There's no end of the finish line. There's no outcome here, but it's a journey. And the journey of making the necessary changes in my life have led me to a place of serenity and a place of really liking who I've become in my recovery. So with that, I wish everybody a great day, and we'll be back next time with another episode of Thanks for Asking. Have a great day.